We are made wise not by the recollection of our past, but by the responsibility for our future. Welcome to BMC News Live in English, brought to you by Al Hilal Hospital and Medical Centers. I am Vinod Narayan, joining you with the daily news updates. Today's headlines. His Majesty the King patronizes opening of Parliament on Monday. Bahrain's Autumn Fair returns at new location and free entry for all 9 days. 10th edition of the Bahraini Farmers Market inaugurated. Saudi employment contracts for citizens and expatriates documented via QR. UAE's Rashid rover on way to moon after historic launch. News in detail. His Royal Highness the Crown Prince and Prime Minister issued circular on National Day holidays. His Royal Highness Prince Salman bin Hamad Al Khalifa, the Crown Prince and Prime Minister, today issued a circular recording the public holidays of the National Day and the 23rd anniversary of His Majesty King Hamad bin Isa Al Khalifa's accession to the throne. Under the circular, the Kingdom's ministries, government departments and public institutions will be closed on Friday and Saturday, 16th and 17th December 2022 respectively. The circular also stipulates that as Friday and Saturday coincide with two official public holidays, Sunday and Monday, 18th and 19th December, will be given in lieu. His Majesty the King patronizes opening of Parliament on Monday. His Majesty King Hamad bin Isa Al Khalifa patronizes on Monday the opening of the first session of the 6th legislative term of the Shura and Representatives Councils. Bahrain's Autumn Fair returns at new location and free entry for all 9 days. A countdown begins to the Autumn Fair as returning exhibitors and newcomers make final preparations for the 33rd edition of the Kingdom's largest shopping event. Retailers from many countries will be present at the Autumn Fair on December 22nd to 30th at the new exhibition World Bahrain in Sakhir. The 9-day shopping wonderland features over 650 stalls from 16 countries and welcomes more than 165,000 shoppers. The modern facility boasts contemporary halls, wide shopping lines, and a variety of food and beverage options. In order to fast-track free entry for all 9 days, visitors over 15 years old at the Autumn Fair 2022 will be required to register their attendance online. Registration is not required for children below 15 years old. 10th edition of the Bahraini Farmers Market inaugurated. Within the Kingdom's celebrations of its national days, Municipalities Affairs and Agricultural Minister Wael bin Nasser Al Mubarak inaugurated the 10th edition of the Bahraini Farmers Market, themed Our Harvest is Bahraini. Tourism Minister Fatima bin Jafar Al Sayrafi, along with officials and representatives of sponsors, attended the opening ceremony of the market, held annually at the Budaya Botanical Garden. Mr. Al Mubarak affirmed that holding the farmers market reflects the great interest of municipalities' affairs and agriculture based on the directives of the government led by His Royal Highness Prince Salman bin Hamad Al Khalifa, the Crown Prince and Prime Minister, in providing various types of support to the agriculture sector. He stressed the ministry's commitment to implement quality initiatives aimed at developing the agriculture sector and achieving the kingdom's food security. In this regard, he expressed thanks to Her Royal Highness Princess Sabika bint Ibrahim Al Khalifa, wife of His Majesty the King, President of the Supreme Council for Women and NIAD Advisory Council's chairperson, for her constant support for the Bahraini Farmers Market. Royal Humanitarian Foundation launched Organic Royal Blue Tea. The Royal Humanitarian Foundation has launched its charity project, Royal Blue Tea. The launch ceremony was held under the patronage of His Majesty, the King's representative for humanitarian work and youth affairs, His Highness Sheikh Nasser bin Hamad Al Khalifa. The event was attended by the Minister of Industry and Commerce, Abdullah bin Adel Fakru, and Dr. Khalid Ahmed Hassan, Acting Under Secretary for Animal Wealth at the Ministry of Municipalities Affairs and Agriculture. RGF Secretary General Dr. Mustafa Al Sayed paid tribute to His Majesty King Hamad bin Isa Al Khalifa and His Royal Highness Prince Salman bin Hamad Al Khalifa, the Crown Prince and Prime Minister, hailing the rule of His Highness Sheikh Nasser bin Hamad Al Khalifa. In a statement, Dr. Al Sayed said that proceeds of the charity project will go towards supporting RHF affiliated families, orphans and widows, as well as all needy social segments. More than 400 tea trees have been in the farm run by the Agricultural Center for Vocational Training of the Bahraini Society for Mental Retardation. LMRE and Ministry of Interior conducted joint inspection campaigns. The Labour Market Regulatory Authority conducted joint inspection campaigns in the capital governorate and Muharraq Governorate in cooperation with the Nationality, Passports and Residence Affairs, General Directorate of Crime Detection and Forensic Science Directorate of Criminal Information of the Ministry of Interior and the Capital and Muharraq Governorate's Police Directorates. The campaigns resulted in reporting a number of violations related to the labour market and residency laws and were referred for legal action. The LMR stressed its commitment to report any violation through a continuous and intensive inspection plan in cooperation with the relevant government entities. Now we will be back after a very short break.
The exclusive franchisee of Cochin Kala Bhavan in Bahrain. With over a decade of existence in Bahrain, exclusive online regular classes have started for classical dances, music vocal, instrumental music, cinematic dance, Kathak, Zumba body fitness, karate and yoga, drawing, arts and craft, children's theatre. For more information, please call 3909 6845 3909 4806 3885 2397 or visit www.bahrainmediacity.com.
Welcome back. Saudi employment contracts for citizens and expatriates documented via QA. The Ministry of Human Resources and Social Development said on Friday that the employment contracts for Saudis and expatriates are documented via QA platform. This comes in line with the Cabinet's resolution on assigning the Ministry the responsibility for managing the contractual relationship between the establishment and workers, whether they are Saudis or expatriates, starting from the contract documentation until the end of the contractual relationship, the Ministry noted. Once the contract is documented via the platform, the data is automatically synchronized with the General Organization for Social Insurance. The Ministry said the documentation aims to protect the contractual relationship parties, raise the salary payment compliance level, and boost competitiveness to the local labor market. UAE's Rashid rover on way to moon after historic launch. The UAE launched the Arab world's first mission to the moon on Sunday, marking a historic beginning for the country's long-term lunar exploration program. Skies lit up across the launch site in Cape Canaveral, Florida, when a SpaceX Falcon 9 rocket lifted off with 163 tons of thrust to deliver the Rashid rover to a lunar surface. The small rover is now on its way to the moon aboard the Hakuto R mission on Lander, built by Japanese lunar exploration company iSpace, on a journey that is expected to last 5 months. Sheikh Mohammed bin Rashid, Vice President and ruler of Dubai, and Sheikh Hamdan bin Mohammed, Crown Prince of Dubai, were in the control room of the UAE Space Agency to watch. The rocket blasted off into space at 11:38 a.m. UAE time from the Launch Complex 40 pad, a site operated by the US Space Force. iSpace's lander separated from the rocket about 35 minutes after liftoff and then began its solo journey to the moon. Any vehicle without entry permit to Qatar will be returned in Saudi. Saudi Arabia's public security said that the entry of citizens and expatriates from the Gulf Cooperation Council countries with their private vehicles to Qatar requires prior permission, and that any vehicle that does not have a permit will be sent back. It also warned that any vehicles that do not have a parking reservation on the Qatari side and vehicles for which no reservation for bus services at the Salwa border crossing will also be returned. The public security pointed out that all travelers wishing to go to Qatar with their private vehicles are required to get a permit issued for the vehicle at least 12 hours before the travel date. Hawaii volcano alert level lower to watch. Lava and volcanic gas emissions at Hawaii's Mauna Loa, the world's largest active volcano, declined on Saturday, the US Geological Survey's Hawaiian Volcano Observatory said. As a result, the observatory downgraded the alert level for the volcano to a watch from the previous level of warning, with lava confined to a small area. Under a watch alert level, an eruption is underway but poses limited hazards, Reuters reported. Mauna Loa began erupting in late November for the first time since 1984, ending its longest quiet period in recorded history. India abstained on a UN resolution aimed at creating a sanctions carve-out to exempt humanitarian efforts. Former diplomat and senior Congress leader Shashi Tharoor praised External Affairs Minister S. Jaishankar for India's stance on a UN resolution establishing humanitarian exemption across all United Nations sanctions regimes. India abstained on the resolution tabled by the US and Ireland to create a sanctions carve-out that exempted humanitarian efforts, asserting that blacklisted terror groups have taken full advantage of such carve-outs and have been able to raise funds and recruit fighters. India, currently presiding over the UN Security Council, was the sole abstention, while all other 14 members of the Council voted in favor of the resolution. With that, we come to the end of today's news. Stay tuned for daily news updates in BMC News Live English at 7:30 p.m. every day. I am Vinod Narayan signing off from BMC News Live. Good night.